We are Engine 10, first shift with the Springfield Fire Department. Crew members are Captain Steve Revis, Driver Engineer Kara Moscardelli, and Firefighter Nick Williamson. Today we will be talking to you about Brush One. It is a Ford F550 four-wheel drive chassis with various hard-mounted nozzles for safety of occupants and versatility in use. It has a 400-gallon tank capacity and a 10-gallon foam tank. Brush One is used for brush fires, field fires, and any other remote fires it's difficult for an engine to get to.
The driver's side compartments of Brush One are equipped with various tools used for brush and wildland fires, to include leaf blower, chainsaw, piercing nozzle, which can be used for hay bale fires, air pack, flashlight, and other equipment. The driver's side of Brush One also has a 60-gallon per minute nozzle, which can be turned on and off from inside the cab. The captain's side compartment contains a second leaf blower, hydrant bag, extra hose, tools, water can, foam, and assorted nozzles. The captain's side also has a 60-gallon per minute nozzle, which can be turned on from within the cab. The top of Brush One contains 250 foot of 2.5-inch hose, fire brooms, fire flappers, 300 foot 1 3/4 inch with a bubble cup attached. The top of Brush One also contains access to the 400-gallon tank and 10-gallon foam tank.
The hubs of both front tires of Brush One will need to be locked in order to engage the four-wheel drive. This is recommended that you do this before going off-road, as it's also recommended that you put it in four-wheel drive before going off-road as well. Whenever Brush One is taken off-road, it needs to be placed in four-wheel drive. You begin by placing it in four-wheel drive high if the conditions call for that. That means that it's not too wet or it doesn't seem like it's going to be too soft. So to place it in four high, while it's in park, you switch the button for four-wheel drive into four high. You'll have an indicator light that will show you you're in four-wheel drive high. Now, if the conditions call for four low, it's wet where you're going in the field, or you're actually stuck, then you'll need to place the vehicle in neutral, and you can then place it in four low. And the indicator light will show that you're in four-wheel drive low. To take it out of four low, you need to be in neutral as well. You can take the vehicle out of four-wheel drive high and park. Brush One is equipped with a battery switch right below by the driver's right leg that is left in the off position until needed for emergency lighting, joystick, siren, and pump. These are the rocker panels for the emergency lights. They're labeled by the ones that need to be turned on. It doesn't hurt to turn them all on though. It's not going to do anything wrong. So if you just end up hitting them all, it's fine. Here's your siren. Here's the joystick for controlling the front mount nozzle. It's in joystick mode, which means the water is not running, so you can actually move the joystick and line it up to where you want it to go, and then you can turn on the water. Once you take the toggle to water, water will flow continuously. You can also switch it into fog and straight stream up here on the top of the joystick. And it does list the directions on how to use it to operate it. Right is to the right, up is back towards you, down is forward, and left is to the left. And for the hard mounted side nozzles and front nozzles, they're labeled clearly. You would flip those switches on for whichever ones you want running. That would be the front left, front right, middle left, and middle right nozzles. Do keep in mind, if you use those and you're going to be going over the same track several times, that ground will get soft and you could get stuck more easily. So use those with caution in an area that you were going to be traveling back and forth over quite a few times. And then the last thing in the cab here I was wanting to show, it's the pump kill switch. So if you're running out of water and you're in the cab, you can go ahead and kill it here, but then you will still have to turn the key off in the back. And we'll go through that step in the back while we're back there.
The front of Brush One is equipped with a front mount nozzle controlled by a joystick, which is located inside the cab. There are also two 30-gallon per minute nozzles on each side of the front of the vehicle. In addition, there's a hitch hookup which can be used for the winch.
So this is a gasoline pump. You have your battery switch on. It has an electric starter. If the electric start does not work, there is a pull start option over here. To start it up, you will turn the key to the right, turn it in the on position, and then if the throttle is not already up, you can go ahead and throttle it up. And then here's the choke. The choke out is in the choke position. And this usually starts on the first time. We're not going to start it right now because I'm going to go ahead and show you what the valves are. So as long as it's not winterized, these are the valves that are usually left open. You'll find them in the open. It's the main tank valve down here. You can see it goes from the tank and follow it into the pump. And the first one we come to right here out of the pump is the hose reel valve. This is the booster line, and it's a 250-foot booster line. This valve right here, it's open. It runs down and under the chassis, and it goes to the hard mounted nozzles and the front mounted nozzle. We have a tank recirc valve right here. It's usually kept closed. If for any reason you need to leave the pump running for a while without water flowing, you can keep that option. You can open it up so that the tank doesn't overheat. We have foam capability. As stated earlier, this has a 10-gallon foam tank. You follow it back to where the tank comes out. You can adjust what you need. Here's a 2.5-inch discharge. 2 discharges here for forestry hose. Here's an 1.5-inch discharge. And a 2.5-inch inlet or intake. And it can be used for hard section, which we wouldn't do, and then it can, we also use this to fill the tank up. If you're just doing a quick top off of the tank, you can also top it off from up top. But if you were gonna top off from an engine or fill it up from an engine, you would use a 2.5-inch roll from the engine, 2.5-inch from the discharge on the engine and into the intake here.
We'll now show you how to start the pump on Brush One. brush one has 3 drains that may be open in the winter after brush one has been winterized. You want to close these 3 drains before using brush one during this time. The first drain is directly under the front mount nozzle on the front of brush one. The second drain is located behind the front tire on the captain's side of brush one. The third and final drain is located on the pump on the back of brush one. The remote control to operate the winch is located inside the cab. It can be plugged into the winch here.